All right, you guys, we're live. I guess I better take my headset. Hey, Charles, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man.
Yeah, I'm taking off my telephone headset as we get kicking, and I hope you had a nice holiday. We're here today with everybody starting to experience some cold. Tennessee, Kentucky, Northern Florida, and I know it's cold where you are. I think we all have an obligation to warm it up tonight. What do you think? You guys are all right. Let's warm it up. Charles, your screen froze. I hope it's not me. I hope I'm not causing everyone to freeze. You there? Charles?
I'm here. Yep, I'm
Okay.
good. Yep.
Bro.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, cool beans. Wow. Happy New Year for all of you. Jersey, wherever you guys are, Happy New Year. We know that we're fortunate enough to have subscribers in different corners of the world, and so of course a great deal in North America. Just wanted to give a shout out to you guys, as we know that 2015 wasn't perfect by any means. It was a challenge for a lot of you. Our goal tonight is to bring together a course of action you could take. Let's charter the course together so that you can have a successful year. I'm not one of these guys that believes that success is only for those who consider themselves gurus. I'm not one of those guys that believes success is only something that you can wish for and it happens by luck. We believe that there's a way to have your steps ordered. And just the way I said it too, have your steps ordered, not just be random. So a lot of love to you guys, and certainly it's time to get down to it. Dwayne Jr., oh, he must still be struggling with his internet. We'll let him get set up. I know he just flew in today and is getting set up at home. He'll be in a few minutes. But in the meantime, what do you say, Charles? We get ready to get things popping. I almost said get things curving because I saw him type in there. Hey, Curvin. Way to give us a new script. All right. So here's a question for you. How many of you guys, you know that not enough things have changed for you as you always approach a new year, but you want it to? And this year, you're going to do your darndest. You're going to push it. You're going to insist upon better results this year. Type in the number one. Type in the number one. I think this is important because I know too often everyone likes to hold a carrot over your head and say, just jump through this hoop and you're going to make it. Just jump through this hoop and you're going to make it. Just jump through this one. All I can say is hogwash. I don't believe it for a minute. And we're going to talk about how. We're going to look at how. So we're going to put in our slideshow presentation and walk with you through a proper course of action. I didn't mean to get excited. I jumped up off my seat. If you saw that, Charles, I kind of jumped up. But let's go ahead and look. Let's go ahead and get moving on that. And certainly get ready to embark upon one of the best years you've ever experienced. Not based on emotion, not based on wishing, not based on what someone's promising you, but based on substance. And when it comes down to this stuff with the internet, Charles, you know it, bro. The substance isn't some magic bullet somebody sells to you in a package that you open up. The substance is going to come from the guy and gal that you look in the mirror. Yeah, a lot of the control is there. You've heard us talk about this for weeks. And now we're going to get down to it and give you the way. Here's the kind of motto we follow, because we know it's got to be bigger than us. We know as individuals, having the emotion of, yeah, man, I'm excited is not enough to generate anything. So let's get down, or I should say like Kool in the Gang, get down on it. No, let's get down to it. Sorry, Charles. I am in a real goofy mood tonight, bro. I mean no harm. All right. If you could see the slide, please type in the number 2 so I know that you're there and that you're able to see correctly, because I don't want to get started knowing that I'm talking to myself or to Charleston Jr., but not you guys. So go ahead and let us know if you can see it. That would be awesome. Awesome sauce, right? As some would say. Okay. Good deal. All right. So as we move on, and you guys can see it, I want you to note what you're looking at. We're going to talk about charting the course together, and Dwayne Charles and I, and Dwayne Jr. will be in a second. His line got dropped a few moments, but it's going to begin with what we consider the 5 Ps of a successful 2016. And we're keeping it simple because this is proof that you don't have to be a rocket scientist. There's no special MC equals squared, none of that stuff. None of that kind of thing. It's pretty simple. And whatever we're talking about tonight is something that each of you can do. So now, Charles, as these guys look at this first slide about a powerful purpose, you and I both know the importance of having a specific goal, having a target, having the purpose. We know how important that is. These guys, I know a lot of people believe that, for some people, all you have to do is announce you're going to sell a product or launch something or promote something and everybody comes running. It doesn't work that way. And I know people want you to believe that because they have a big name or because they're flashy, people come running. There's stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and one of the first things that's essential for you guys is this: you have to have purpose. Man, okay, you guys know it because we have to do it with a lot of people. And all it takes is one email, one TV commercial, one good movie, one good play in a game, and some guy or gal has the inspiration to go charge the world, right, to win. And I'm here to tell you, you need purpose, not just the emotion of being excited, not just the emotion of someone gave you a good quote. And a lot of you guys, I know everybody today sees themselves as a coach. They even put that as the first name, right? We know this. But everybody sees themselves as the mentor. Everyone sees themselves as all these things, but that's not where the money comes from. A lot of that stuff is please forgive me, a lot of it's smoke and mirrors. It's all about want. About what people want. I think I'm getting feedback from one of you guys' mics. But, so here's the bottom line. You guys are going to have to get to the point where you have purpose. And purpose is something that is bigger than your opinion. It's bigger than you knowing everything. Purpose is something that is even bigger than the emotion of wanting to do well. It's that thing behind it that drives you. Many times, it's that huge goal that you put in front of you and things like that. So, Charles, we can talk about that for a minute, but, even a what do you call those pit bull, once it focuses on what it wants, it'll go after that and bite it. It's not going to look at the whole body. It's going to find one thing. And these guys need to know the importance of having purpose, not just the emotion of my best friend had a $4,000 a month, or this guy, my mentor, did another $150,000 a month. That stuff is a shaky ground, and I think they need to hear that as we move forward. So start with you first, Charles. Any feedback on that concept for them? Because I think they need to be able to latch onto something that's real and not fake.
Yeah, it really does start with doing one thing. And internet marketing, I've said in the past, Dwayne, everything works, right? And some things work better than others, but you can't do everything all at once. And sometimes even before you can start teaching people, you really do have to get a result first. And so I would really encourage you, the same thing that I encourage myself all the time is, focusing on one thing, getting it until you can make it happen, and then moving on to the next thing. And Dwayne, I know I'm almost stealing your thunder a little bit, but when you talk about the pit bull taking one bite out of one thing, it's hard for all of us because we have a lot of opportunities coming at us every single day. And all of them work, and all of them good, and a lot of them are coming from reputable people. The thing is picking one thing and sticking with it until it works and not getting off of that one thing until you've kind of made one thing happen.
Yeah, well said. And trust me, even if you look at the military, right? The military says, okay, we're going to fight on this front. They're not trying to fight and win the battles on every beach. They take one at a time. And so this is where the stuff's built upon. Dwayne Jr., you know it, man. You know all the stuff we have to tackle all year. You know that when we start crossing in each other's lanes and everybody gets busy doing something, no one goes anywhere. Talk about it, bro. What's it all about, man?
Yeah, man. It's all about knowing your strengths and spending time where you can be most effective. If I try to do all the cool and technical, smart, intellectual type stuff that Charles knows because he's such a smart guy, I'll be wasting my time. By the time I finally figure out what he does naturally, days have passed, and something he could probably do in a few hours.
A few birthdays have passed, right?
Yeah, days have passed. So it's just a matter of knowing your strengths, man, and capitalizing it, and not wasting time doing things that either are not productive or that are not your strengths. So I couldn't agree more, man.
Yeah. Well said. So here we go, guys. Since you are in your talk, I see everyone saying hello, but it's time for a better year, right? And I want you guys to get this. It's so much time for a better year that you really want to have focus. You want to have purpose. You want to get to a webinar. You want to go to a live event. You want to open an email. You've got to start having purpose instead of just scanning everything. It doesn't fail. So I'm going to tell you guys something while you're here. You want to get it, okay? Because there's not too many places we're going to go on the webinar, go to a webinar every week where they're giving you value and how you could build. And there's nothing for sale or any of that stuff. Take advantage of it. Have purpose. Do not just become a professional listener. Do not become a professional watcher. Become the guy and the gal, the woman or the man who is determined to make sure this year will never look like the others have. And the way to do that is to have purpose. So we don't want to just say the word purpose. We want to give you some things you can do to make sure you have it. Number one, under the powerful purpose, you want to have a goal and a target. You heard me say it here. If you aim at nothing, you're going to hit it every single time. You have got to have purpose. What's it look like? Here's the rule of thumb. A great goal or a great target has specifics. It must be specific.
Yep.
Right? That's the second thing. You've got to have. Your brain checks out fact, scientific fact, that every time you just say, "I want to be successful," your brain can't play along. Only you and your emotions can. Your brain doesn't have anything concrete to look at or to aim at. So while you're sleeping, your brain's checked out. It's got to do other things. It's got to start looking at different song playlists. It's got to start thinking about what you're going to be making for dinner tomorrow, because you did not invite your brain to help you with your goal. And the why? Because you weren't specific. You just said, "I just want to do better. If I could just make enough to pay my bills." That is not specific enough. But really, Dwayne, yeah, really. If all you want to do is make sure that you have peace, that's not clear. Your brain was created and designed to be the most powerful computer in the world today. It's like your computer. If you just go sit down at your computer and type a lot of random keys, nothing's happening. You want to get on top of this thing and have what we call powerful purpose, you include your brain. You give it a specific. And specifics are like this. And this is a biblical principle as well. That it usually includes, now watch this now, I want you to write this down. It includes a specific amount of time. So if you have a target and a goal, okay, when do you want this to happen? Over the next 3 weeks, I want blank, blank, blank to happen. Make sure you include the element of time. There's a second element that you have to have. You need a specific element of numbers. You need a specific measurement. What is that measurement? I want to be making $12,000 a month before the end of the year. Give your brain something so it can help. You and your emotions aren't good enough. You're not strong enough, and you're not fiery enough, and certainly not consistent enough to do it. Include a powerful purpose that will have the proper elements of, watch this now, it's the space. How much time is it going to take me to do this? Over the next year, over the next 6 months, the next 30 days. This week, I'm not going to miss emailing. Whatever it is, give your brain a chance to participate. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have the best 2016 if you can include your brain this year. I mean, you've gotten by pretty good without using your brain, but now you can plug it in by giving it a purpose that includes time. Watch this now. Includes specific measurements, right? And what's crazy about this, when you start including these type of numbers, time and money, time and the specific measurements, you can't lose. Now, those units can be money. The units can be the number of people in your list, but you've got to do it. Period. It's amazing. Well, I just want to be able to launch something. If I could have a launch that's going to be $20,000, if I could sign up 10 more people into my home business, well, that's specific. But this random stuff, I want to be good. I just want to be able to make more money. Stop doing it by yourself. Understand that you get older every year. include your brain, because in spite of your age, it still can be sharp if you feed it. Dwayne and Charles, I know you guys got to stop me. Tell me, put the brakes on. I'm going too fast, too far. I mean, how real is this, man? I mean, how fun is it when your brain can participate? Tell them, because they ain't going to hear me. They think I'm hyper. Huh? One of you guys, somebody tell them how
Well,
important.
yeah. Well, it is. Well, it's necessary, right? Because even when you bring it into internet marketing, before you can really, before you can really start attacking, how you're going to keep working at something, somehow having that number in your brain really works. I mean, if you know the end of the day has come, and if your number is $100 a day, and you haven't hit $100, you have an incentive to keep working. But if you kind of have this vague notion of, well, I want to get to a full-time income, I want to make sure I can pay for my daughter's schooling. I mean, those are good goals, but it's
Right.
just you'll stop at a point at which you should keep going if you don't have that specific in there.
Yeah, man, it's got to be clear and with detail. The more clear it is, the more easy it is to hit. If you're think about it like this. Let's say you're a guy who requires glasses to get on the road. If you don't wear your glasses, you're not going to see clear enough, according to the government, to be on the road. If you're, let's say you're playing darts and you have horrible vision and you can't play without your glasses, put your 20/20s on and make it very clear. So if you're making a goal, make it clear. Don't let your goals be blurry and vague and stuff like that. It's going to be a big part of you and a big part of the way you actually attack the goals as well. A lot of the answer is sometimes within your goal. So I think that's very important.
You guys, you're hearing it, and it's not hype. I'm gonna tell you something, guys. I mean, to literally set out year after year. Whoa, how's my internet, guys? Is it okay? Can you hear me? Okay.
You're fine. You're perfect.
Okay, good. It's probably just my camera. I get started thinking things slow. Anyway, let me tell you something, guys. You all have got to get to a point where your brain is a part of every single thing. Because here's the deal. If you're doing 10 things throughout the week and your brain's only a part of 2 of them, no wonder you have mediocre or anemic results. You can change that. You can change that. So here's the deal. There's 5 P's we're giving you tonight. We gave you one, a powerful purpose. And that purpose isn't even substantial. It doesn't have any substance. It's just noise. It's just words. If, in fact, you're not going to be specific. Have a target and a goal. Make sure there's specificity using elements of time and, of course, measurement. Let's go on, because I'll start crying. Your brain requires it. I said it. But we got to go forward. If powerful purpose is the first one, right, what in the world is the second one? You guys hear me say a lot about the concept of being like a German Shepherd, a pit bull, or a dog. Dogs are interesting in that whatever comes across the hearing path or the visual path or their nose path, that's what determines what they're doing next, right? And a lot of us are like that. Depending on what email we hear, depending on what we're doing, guess what happens to a lot of you guys? That determines your next move, right? That shouldn't be. You got to be purposeful. You got to plan. You got to have some order. I believe that God has a divine order in the way things run in our world, the way things run in the universe. And we have a divine order for development, right? Child is firstborn, must first strengthen the digestive tract muscles as the mother feeds the child with soft food first. Then the child later can grow teeth where it can get hard food after it's strengthened the digestive tract. The respiratory system in the first year or 2 of life begins to develop fully, and the ear, nose, and throat later. There's an order when things really get going. Things aren't random. Unlike animals, we don't get up and walk around the first day. We have 12 months of learning to sit up and strengthen the back muscles. We've got 12 months of learning how to strengthen and move around the jaw muscles for talking, right? We've got a lot of stuff that has to go on through childhood development, and then we're ready to run, jump, and play. Then we're ready to sit in the classroom and use our auditory, our senses that we didn't master using. For goodness sakes, why do we treat business like it's a lottery ticket? I'm here to tell you it's not. And you can plan. Planning for 2016 doesn't really start in January, folks. Businesses, the rest of us have to all start in the last quarter of the year to build up what's happening in 2016. So I'm going to tell you something. Start planning. Never let another year come around where an outsider who's not a part of your business has to come and get you started for the year during the year. Let it happen the year before. And here's what that looks like when you plan. You have to realize, number one, you're not an animal. You actually have the ability to utilize so many different skills in your planning process. Unlike animals who can communicate on one level, that is instinctual reaction. If you do like this to a dog, right? See how quickly I moved? And they move back. That's what's going to happen. They're going to jump back. If you act like you're going to do something really fast, the animal will instinctually move in the opposite direction. You're not an animal. You can actually communicate written. As a human being, if you learn it, you can communicate with sign language. You have body language. You literally have the ability to use video. You could take recordings. You have so many levels of interaction and communication. How dare you take for granted all that God's given you, where you can literally be purposeful in your planning. You can plan things out. You don't have to okay, I'll send an email today. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll send an email. You can be purposeful. I know a lot of you guys think when you finally get an email from us about a launch, we just woke up one day and thought, let's just launch. It doesn't work that way. We plan and plan. Charles, they don't know that a year ago, February and March, we were talking about Genius Trainer Pro. It has evolved so much because we planned. It took a long time. They have no idea what goes into a lot of what we do. You guys can have greater success than any of us have. Truth is, with the exception of Junior, we're old school. We're going to have limits. We have a capacity in what we're doing. But what we do is we learn to leverage what we've been given from birth. And I want you guys to do it. Make sure you incorporate the second P in this whole idea of having a great 2016. Make sure you do priority planning. You're not an animal. You can be purposeful. The second thing in it is you can aim at something. Incorporate your planning into your goal. Don't put anything in your task list that isn't connected to the goal. Charles, it took me a while. I read the book about 12 years ago called Jack, Straight from the Gut, Jack Welch. And he talked about eliminating everything that's not attached to the goal, to the purpose. Sometimes in a company, it means shutting down a division. It means people get fired and all that stuff. Well, it's the ugly part of life that people don't like. But if you want to last, you got to get rid of things that aren't a part of the bottom line. Priority planning means you do things that are attached to the direction you're headed. So I know. Please don't take me as insensitive. Some of you guys can't wait to come to our webinar so you can coach and teach in our webinars. You go right to the chat area and you can start quoting and telling people what to do. And I can't even see the chat right now, Charles. All I see is the slides. I'm just saying this is something that's common. Another one is some of the planning you do, it's useless. It's not helping your bottom line. Some of you will plan. I can't wait to attend the webinar. I'm going to use it for customer support. It's a waste for you. For your bottom line, it's a waste. Others will come to say hi to everybody there. I'm telling you, leverage whatever you have. And if it's not a part of the end goal, get rid of it, even if it's me. If I'm not a part of helping you get to that goal, Charles is not a help. Trust me, the best place for any of us are to be involved with things that are attached to things that are related to our end goal. What have you done in the last week that's related to what you want out of 2016? Do you really have to talk to everybody on Facebook? Do you really have to surf every video? Do you really need this pass along joke of the day? Because I need to know how much that's benefiting your business. How much is that paying you? Yeah. Hard word. Who can hear it? Charles, hey man, I know Junior's having trouble with his line, man, but you know I'm not picking the day. This is real. This is reality. Yeah? May I continue?
Definitely.
Can I
Definitely. Yeah, keep going.
All right. Just wanted to know, baby, because you know I get a little carried away. All right. So priority planning. So we got 2 P's, Charles, right? We have a powerful purpose. We have priority planning. And here's one that's interesting. I know I talked about animals, how they will hear a loud noise and they'll just go to try to prepare themselves, fight or flight. What's sad to me today is home business owners, whether it's affiliate marketing, internet marketing, social network marketing, SEO guys, MLM guys, there's this thing of racing around like a chicken with their head cut off, having nowhere to go but all day to get there. And it's scary. I call this racing. But you should be pacing, not racing, if you want to have a great 2016. Pace yourself. It's sad to see, Charles, how many people start off this week, oh yeah, I'm going to be a great affiliate marketer, I'm going for it, because it's only emotions, there's no real substance there. So they start off, and as soon as the wind blows, they send 2 emails, and it didn't work, and they go, okay, what am I going to do now? Okay, oh, I just got an email from some other guy, I'm going to start this other thing. And all year long, lots of races. I'm going to join another MLM company. I'm going to start another background. Now I'm going to get into CPA. Oh, that didn't work. Now I'm going to, and before you know it, racing, not pacing. I'm asking everybody today to flip it around, pace yourself, be persistent, make this stuff work, and you pace yourself. Don't have to race. Charles, you know, it was just no less than 10 days ago. You know, in agreement with a fellow promoter, we agreed to promote their product. And I sent out thousands of emails and had only two people even remotely interested in it. It doesn't make me want to give up on promoting. I'm not racing around. Okay, it's not a good fit for my list. I let it go. I stopped. But I didn't give up on mailing. I gave up on that product. You guys don't have to leave and start something new every week. Stick with something. Stick with something. Stick with something. It bothers me to see so many changes in your lives. And if it bothers me, imagine what your spouse is thinking. You make an announcement every other month that you're going to do this new thing. And every time you do it, it means more money coming out of the house. And then they don't even get an apology. Your spouse doesn't even get an apology. Neither do your children. You just keep starting so many things with their money. And then you have a good excuse why you can't do things for them, why you can't provide. I'm here to say that if you work with a powerful purpose and do priority planning that's attached to that purpose, and then begin to pace and not race, you can have greater results in 2016 that could start tonight. How many of you are ready for a start of change, a change in your results, in your behavior tonight? Type in the number 3, please, so I know that you hear me. Type it in. I don't, Charles, I know, because I know in internet marketing, this kind of language probably sounds curt and insensitive, but the opposite's true. You know it, bro. It's true.
Is. Well, yeah, and because it's easy to happen, right? And even Dwayne, the most committed people, you know, it's hard when you're at the point, and sometimes I know some folks, you're in something and you really do need to make something work. And the fact of the matter is that you kind of feel like, and you get an email or you see something, you say, somebody just made $800 in 3 days on this one thing, and your thing right now, you're looking at it and it's not working. And it's deceptive, because you think if I go learn this thing over here, maybe I can do what they did. But the fact of the matter is, and I'm just going to tell you, I don't have a formula to tell you, but I will tell you this: the fastest the fastest thing you're going to make work is a thing you're on right now and that you're working with. It's not going to be this thing over here where this guy or this gal, and they come and they tell you they're making all this money doing this thing, and they probably are. It's just that sticking with the thing you're on and making it work. I don't know any other way to move fastest in this business.
Well said, Charles. You know, tonight at 10 o'clock, Charles, I'm actually, Myron, my brother, is interviewing me about starting off in business. And you know what's interesting, Charles? We're going through this presentation right now with these guys. the first thing I think about is all the times, all the invitations to race and not pace and be random. And at first, how much of a struggle it was until I got the life slapped out of me by hard times. And as I think about it, Charles, there were times because the mortgage company was all over me, it made me want to race. But racing dug me further in the hole instead of pacing. Mm-hmm. There were so many times that I almost convinced myself I didn't have time to plan. I just was going to start doing something today randomly. But unfortunately, it dug the hole deeper. We're trying to save these guys from those kind of headaches, Charles. And I look back at that, I'm like, man, most of the bumps and bruises I had came from this lack of order. And it's not meant to be that way. We as human beings have an advantage over all other creation, and that we can be purposeful in this stuff, even in our behavior as we race and pace. You can literally, it's crazy. Your heart works at a pace unless you disturb that process, right? It paces. But if you disturb it with fight or flight, it's going to race and you get a heart start beating 100 miles an hour. We talked about 3 of the 5 P's: powerful purpose, priority planning, pace and not race, which makes a lot of room for this idea of having partnerships, not petty battles. What do you mean by petty battles, Dwayne? I have a lot of meaning about this one, Charles. Sometimes a petty battle is, I was going to get started, but I noticed that you entered a sentence in a preposition, so I never got started. I hear all kinds of stuff. That's why I'm saying that. That's a petty battle. And if that keeps you from making money, you weren't going to make any anyway. That doesn't mean it can't be fixed. Some of you guys become 100% immobilized over petty battles instead of using that same energy to build a partnership. There's another example, Charles. Well, I was going to mail, but Charles decided to do it the same day I was, and some of the people on my list are on his, so now I'm going to pick a fight and fight against Charles every chance I get. Now, right, I got another roadblock in my business. You guys have got to stop with the petty battles. We have words for those. They're called, in the military, they call them peeing battles, where everybody will see who can pee the furthest. Foolishness. I saw it's a horrible analogy, but I had to give it to let you know how foolish this is. I'm amazed when this guy won't talk to that person. This person thinks this person's stealing someone from me. All kinds of childishness, and those petty battles will kill your business. It'll kill it. Well, just so happens I was working on something in the background. So-and-so came out with it first, and now they want some of the people I was going to use, they're using it now. Stop it. The world doesn't revolve around you or that person. And long after you and that person are gone, business will keep occurring. Yeah, in the absence of you and that person you're battling with, life goes on for everybody else. So stop getting caught up in it and move forward. Stop with the petty battles. It will kill your business. Charles, do you know how many people we could fight with who we're launchers? We have some who don't like us launching. We have some who prefers if we launch, don't launch this kind of a product. Don't launch that kind. They want to fight. No, we don't want to fight. We have some that says, well, but you launch it, I'm not promoting it. Well, so be it. You don't have to. We're cool. Petty battles. Little crappy battles. A battle over, think about this. Some of the jump, I was going to use that other autoresponder, but their capacity only goes up to 40,000. The other one, for just $2 more, goes up to 100,000, and you only have 2 people on your list. Petty battle. It's foolish. I'm amazed. Well, okay. Did your webinar do this? Does it do that? Does it do this? And you've never done a webinar in your life. And if you have done one, you've never used those types of things. That's a petty battle. You guys have to learn how to jump in and get moving. It scares me. Charles, the number of people, they'll ask me, can your webinar do this, do that, and the other? And they've never even did a webinar. And they're going to determine if they buy it or not if it has it. Learn to get what you need and get running. Stop having so many excuses of why you just can't get moving. It's sickening. You don't ask, Charles, it's funny. Dwayne, you listen to this. I'm glad you're back. You go to a place, and what do they want to do? They want to pass it. Hey, look, this is some good stuff, boy. this is a special brew. It's a 1947 Merlot or something like that. They pass it. The same people who have the petty battlers will say, hey, what's in this? It's 1947, but it has so much percent alcohol, another percent propanol, and you don't do that. Other areas of your life, you don't do it. You don't. You get what's on TV? Are these two people going to be doing drugs in my living room? You don't ask yourself that. So stop being petty in your business and get down to it and start working. Period. It bothers me. Petty, petty, petty. And you know what happens? That same energy can be used for partnerships. Period. The person who you're complaining about, maybe you can partner. Listen, I noticed you got a really cool thing here. Something I'm really good at is this. Do you mind, if you don't mind, I would love to offer this to you and help you with your product. Partnership, it takes you further. Maybe the next thing you'll get free. I mean, we do that with people. We work with them. We don't try to have these little peeing battles. We work with them so that we can become stronger and offer more value to the marketplace and help them. You want to work with a great 2016, have powerful purpose, and tie that purpose to some priority planning. Don't plan stuff that doesn't matter. It's amazing how many activities everybody has. It has nothing to do with your goals, nothing to do with your purpose. You just start, I'm busy, we're doing this. I'm now a part of the Urban Youth League and we're doing this. Where I'm now a part of, I can't get you together, you're going to be out helping everyone else before you do. Stop. Tie the junk together. Well, right now, what we're doing is we're building website. We're just running everything in test mode for a whole year just to see what kind of data we get back. But let me tell you something. That's not a tie to your goal. Get down to business and stop having excuses for cheating your spouse and your children out of the dreams that you promised them. Stop, 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 stop. Yeah, I know it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a webinar or organized with special SEO data, and we're not doing that tonight. And then pace, not race. Stop running around like a chicken with your head cut off. Get down to something and don't give up. Be like the child who learned to play the trumpet. They learn to play the trumpet. They sound horrible for the first couple of months. Then they sound only okay. And yet they don't throw it away. They keep going at it. And before you know it, by the time 5 to 10 years goes by, it sounds so beautiful because they paced. They didn't expect to do it overnight. Charles and Dwayne, you guys know it. How many of the people we deal with are disappointed because they didn't they didn't have a 6-figure month, and they're just trying something for how many years did it take us? For God's sakes, what's wrong with people today?
Yeah, I mean, it's because people think, you get too wrapped up in the whole get rich quick idea, and that's not necessarily what this is about. This is like a career. This is a full-time business. This isn't something that's going to happen overnight. And I know people are going to tell you this, buy their latest product and you're going to make a couple $100,000 in the next 2 months. It's just likely 99% of the time isn't going to happen. You have to be committed to doing this for at least a couple years if you want to be able to make consistent high income. It's not a race, like you said. So I think that's one piece that people don't like to talk about, but it's realistic. We've been doing this for many, 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 many years, and didn't make money many of those years. So I think that's huge.
Yeah, and what's crazy about it, Junior? People think it's just magic. Blink your eyes. I bought Frank Kern's special offer. Man, next month I'm doing $860,000. I'm at my first 7-figure month. I went to the Mike Filsaime and Frank Kern conference, and I got everything they had to offer. So now I'm going to make it. It doesn't work that way. You still have to learn what they took time to learn.
Mm-hmm. And
so stop running around. Stop switching off every month. And it's beautiful. This to me, it's beautiful because, folks, you guys don't realize that you can pace yourself and stop giving up as soon as the wind blows if you don't open your email. Sorry, Charles, you're about to say something, man.
No, I'm right with you. Yeah.
I was gonna say that I was saying the same thing. Like, even if you're paying for these conferences or buying all these products, all the learning in the world isn't gonna change your income until you do something with the stuff that you're learning. And I believe that the majority of you guys on this call have been learning a lot of stuff that could already be making you money, but because you don't have the consistency it takes, it's not panning out for you. You drop out after a week and a half because it hasn't made you any money. and that's just not the way the business works. You know, Dad, you told me this a long time ago. If you go to buy a McDonald's franchise, you're gonna pay about 5 figures for it, and you're lucky to be in the black and making money in year 2 or 3.
No, year 5.
Year 5, excuse me.
McDonald's, Wendy's, yeah, 5 to 10 years.
That's how long those guys are willing to make their money after buying a McDonald's franchise. 5 years before they make any profit, and you guys can't even wait a week and a half to master something. So once you guys master the consistency, then I think you'll be able to understand what it actually takes. But all the learning in the world without consistency and without putting it into action isn't going to do it.
Yeah. So the bottom line is, you guys have to start making commitments. If you're going to actually have a great year, the great year doesn't happen because you wish it and you want it. It doesn't happen that way. You have to dig your heels in. So it starts with a commitment, you know. How many of you commit to literally applying yourself to an amazing year by doing what's unpopular, what's not fun, what's not easy? Type in the number 5. I'm committed, Dwayne. Oh, I'm going for it. With or without you, Dwayne, if I've got to unsubscribe from everybody in the world, including you guys, I don't give a crap. I'm going for my year. I'm not going to apologize to my children or my spouse anymore. If that's you, type in the number 5, because it's time. You really want to wait till 2020? Goodness sakes alive. Partnerships. Dwayne and Charles, how often do we love when someone says, look, I noticed something. Instead of using that energy to create a battle and want to complain and have a battle, they build partnerships.
Yeah.
A lot of our subscribers are great partners because what they do, they bring value instead of bringing noise. You guys can take that same energy and partner. Partner meaning, hey, look, I love, like we have to do this. Sometimes I like your product, dude, but it doesn't do this or it doesn't do it this way. Think about this for a moment, and I can give you more feedback if you like later. Partner. Don't get mad at someone for launching a product that you didn't launch fast enough. Compliment them. Tell them you were working on something similar, and if they'd like to partner with you, you can come out with a new version with your new item in it. But stop whining and complaining and thinking someone's out to get you, because there's more to life than you and your thoughts. Partner. No petty battles. Let me go and put that one into the alert message. I keep putting the hot list in there, so let me go ahead and partner. Partnerships. Not petty. Boom. Show the alert message. Okay, there we go. Now, guys, here we go. Let's dance. Okay, the final P tonight. We got through 4 Ps. The 5th one, oh, I just absolutely love, because this is what makes it happen. This is, Charles, this is the one where if you're too short or too tall, too big or too small, if people don't like it because you're a woman, people don't want to deal with you because you're black or blue or Greek, if you are a Gentile, whatever the reason is, this is one that really doesn't, this just makes, it pulls all those fake obstacles out the way and allows you to dive in. Let's take a look at it. You must practice persistence. When you're persistent, people stop forgetting what color you are, or what gender you are. They don't even think about your weight or your height, or the width of your nose or how pointy it is. They don't really care about how bald you are, right? Look at how balding you get. When you're persistent, you hang in the cut. And you don't give up every time the wind blows, or when it's time for something, you just keep moving forward. The forces of nature lie in your favor, and those that were in the way get out of the way. You must practice persistence. I was talking earlier tonight when we first started this thing. Some of you guys, we just finished the 2015, and now, how many things have you jumped on board with? You started this. I started CPA in January. By March, I was doing affiliate marketing. Then my friend came out with, we have this special thing we do for SEO consultants. And now we're into setting up our very own network for having social networks do extreme big brothers and big sisters. We're just jumping on bandwagons all year long and didn't practice persistence. Because you didn't hang in there, you have no real experience. You have no real history of logging your hours when things were tough.
My knife is
You think people don't want to deal with you. You think that people don't want to subscribe with you. The truth is you don't have the value to offer them because you've been hopping around like a potato looking for a pot to jump into, and you don't have to do that. So here we go. Practice persistence. Like the woman in Luke chapter 18 who kept being so persistent that the king says, okay, finally, okay, woman, okay. Because of your importunity, I'll move, I'll act on it. Because you kept telling me that we needed to have this, I'm going to do it. Persistence. Because you kept moving when no one else would. The forces of nature will align in your favor. Your new product, your new service, your new launch, your new method will have substance to it because you lasted past the learning curve. You've gone through the mountains, and rather than going around it, you've gone over them, and you have an opportunity. So Charles and Dwayne, I'm going to shut my trap and see what you guys have to say about this, because you guys know it. The persistence, man, I don't know much of anything else that pays like that. And
Yeah,
so, go ahead.
that's what I was talking about the last time I was talking. Persistence is one of the biggest keys. You know, without that, you've got really nothing. You're just random. You're just doing stuff, you know, like you were saying. So I think that's a big piece of it.
Yeah, it is. You know, in the words of Albert Einstein, guys, which I'm a big Einstein fan, you know, he's the guy that said, he's one of the guys that said that if you try to solve problems at the same level you're at when you created the problem, you can't solve problems at the same level you were at when you created them, right? That's one.
Yeah.
But here's the saying he's doing now. If you guys look up a slide, take a look at what Mr. Einstein is saying. It's not that I'm so smart, right? But it's just that I stay with problems longer. Uh-oh. How many of you that hurts, right? You don't even stay with a problem long enough before you jump ship and abandon, so you miss the whole thing. He said, I'm not so much a genius. I stay with problems longer. Remember, this is the guy that was kicked out of school because they said mathematically he couldn't hack it. He literally was a weak link. He stays with problems longer. So here's the deal. You guys got to learn to stick with it. Well, I tried affiliate marketing with 3 other products and nothing worked. Stick with it. Stick with something. Charles, you know, you came to me a couple years ago about JV Zoo and affiliate marketing. I didn't know what that was. I had no interest. It sounded good, but I didn't want anything to do with it. Junior, you know it. We looked at that kind of stuff and said, nah. But let me tell you something. We came in, these guys don't know it, our first trial with this, it was such a disappointment. We started working around Thanksgiving of 2014. And then in trying to do it and work with people, it didn't work. They were missing in action and things, we just could never get off the ground. We're like, man, should we even go forward? So guess what happens? It pops up, opportunity pops up again to finish it out in December. Yep. Now, the other one, we can't find the other one. Then January, hey, look, if we're going to be launching this in January, it's already January, how's it going to work? Things weren't working for us. The opposite was happening. Everything that could have gone wrong kept going wrong. Well, we want to do this. Well, guys, we don't like it. We need to do it this way. And it was like battle after battle. We said, guys, Charles said, listen, Dwayne, I'm telling you, it's the way you want to go. It's another piece to the business you guys have been doing that you have not been doing. And we kept going. What happens? February comes. And we're really a disappointment. We try to get our first product launch, which is Webinar Fusion Pro, which you guys are enjoying today. And we try to do this in February, and there's no website for it. We just have the content that we created, but there's no website. There is no, I don't know, I think there's a JV page yet.
Nope.
There's just noise. And we're getting angry because in our world, we don't work like that. We like to have this stuff done. So we were very upset. Charles, you remember this. We're supposed to launch on March 11th. By the end of February, we start building out the pages. Not the software, the pages that represent it. And what happens? We get down to the last 3 or 4 days, and the copywriter they just kept never showing up. We're down to 4 days before launch, we have no pages. We were persistent, though. Listen to what I'm telling you. It was so disappointing. I was angry. I'm thinking, oh gosh, I'll never want to get involved in this stuff again. It's going to fly. We have to move forward. We have to find a way. You know what happens? Out comes some guy says, hey, I can do the copywriting. Let's do it. Down to the last 3 days of this launch, the pages that Hundreds of thousands of dollars are made on in just 1 week.
You're talking about sales pages, right?
Sales pages. We're done, finally done, during the last hour before we do the launch webinar. That's painful. I don't like to work that way, but we needed to be persistent anyway. We knew it was time for a different type of webinar platform to come out. Don't you understand? Even if it's not perfect, persistence pays off. We have a new partner, Charles Harper. We weren't doing webinars together like this a year ago. It started with Webinar Fusion Pro. Through our persistence, we built a brand, we built a environment and a culture that we wanted to see in internet marketing that could be done without cursing, without talking drugs and alcohol and stuff. Because I attend these things and I go on webinars and I hate the stuff I have to hear. We wanted to create our own culture and we're able to do it because we were persistent. Can't you see how it could change your business if it doesn't for us? Because you guys have to know this. We had every reason to flop. If you don't know what, you go look inside at JVZoo or Warrior Plus and look at all the things that launch. 90% of them never sold more than 10 of anything. You got to understand, only a handful of people do it. It looks like everybody sells, but most of the people that try it don't. We should have failed. But persistence, as I told you, the forces of nature will line in your favor. The haters get out of the way. The walls begin to move and fold. But you have to be persistent. Commit to a persistence. Charles and Dwayne, I'm done. All right, for you. You first, Charles. Dwayne's picture is there. Talk to him. How real is it?
Well, it is real. And, you know, we talked about this when we were in Florida, is that, you know, really, if you look at anything that's really been successful, especially stuff that's been online, a lot of what you see is you see the end point. But there's so much that goes before that you don't see. I think Dwayne Jr. alluded to that. Sometimes it's education, sometimes it's seminars, sometimes it's a whole lot of stuff. Right. But sometimes, and I want you to hear this though, and it's real. I'm not saying it's going to be a long time for you, but sometimes it's years. It's years of staying at it. And what it also means is it's not years of doing 2 or 3 things, trying a couple of things at the same time. It's years of staying on one thing until it works. So I'm not saying it's going to be years for you, but you really got to hear me on this. If internet marketing is going to work for you, it's going to work at a point in time, but it's not going to work if you hop off on it and hop on to something else, right? And that is, and what Dwayne is saying is so incredibly true. You stay with a problem until you solve it, right? It's everything we've been saying. You stay on a problem till you solve it, and when you start learning how to solve other people's problems, that's when people will start to pay you more. And that's really all internet marketing is, right? Some people teach, some people create software. It's solving other people's problems. You learn how to solve other people's problems, and you keep at it until you solve it, and then you give people the value that you're trying to sell to them. They'll buy it, right? Because you really are sticking with it until you have taken care of something for somebody else. It'll work for you.
Yeah, well said, man. Junior.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Charles said exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, the persistence, consistency, that's a big part of everything. You know, it's not going to be an overnight thing. I talked about this, you know, the last 2 times I spoke, because it's important. So I'm glad you guys are hearing the true story, the truth
and
about
you know what's crazy?
That really works.
Dwayne Jr., you know, Einstein, I'm not real smart, but I know that whatever he is, he single-handedly pretty much changed our world post-World War II. Greater than almost anybody. Before, during, and after World War II, there's so much we get to enjoy. So if this guy says, I'm not all that smart, I just stay with my problems longer, you guys have to stop jumping ship when the wind blows and dig your heels in to something. Otherwise, I mean, truthfully, people that do that, I think they ought to be by themselves. You don't need a spouse or children. You don't need to ruin anyone else's life if you're just going to be a professional jumper. So here's the deal. You guys can do this. Your 2016 is all in your hands. 5 P's. Number 1, right? That is a powerful purpose. You deserve a purpose, a goal. Number 2, you need priority planning. You need to be orderly. You stop being random. Don't wake up one day and decide what you're going to do that day. You should already have it planned out before that day ever hits, right? We went over that. We also went over pace, not race. don't have to be in a rat race. You get this stuff down and you keep moving at a great pace. So at the end of the week, you've done more than most people that are in your same realm. The same end of the year, you just end up doing so much more. Then we have partnerships, not petty battles. I mean, stop that stuff, right? And then finally, we talked about the importance of your being persistent. You can do this, guys. There's no magic to this. I told you we're going to give you. Some of you guys were expecting us to give some awesome SEO tips and all that stuff. That's not where the money comes from. The money comes from what the stuff you do with the person you look in the mirror. And that's what I want to get a hold of for 2016. Don't say, okay, next week I'm starting. Don't wait for New Year's resolutions. Jump in and change the course of business for you from now on. Whoever wants, if you we're gonna be interviewed at 10 o'clock tonight. That's pretty much an hour, 2 hours from now. In 2 hours, I'm gonna be interviewed about the history from the bottom, from being on welfare at my church. Dwayne doesn't probably remember when he was a kid. We was in welfare. I was very sickly in the hospital. We had nothing. We came from nothing. And to see what happened, and the stuff we talked about tonight, you're going to hear how it was plugged in to change the course of direction for our family. You'll hear about that. If you'd love to hear it, I'm going to put that in. First, it's my brother Myron, who was the first, I think he's the second or the first or second in our family to cross 7. I think Mark may have been the first to cross a 7-figure income. And so what's important about this is you need to hear the story, because if we can do this, you can do it. Charles and Dwayne know it. If we can do it, you certainly can do it. You just need to know what to do. You need to learn to apply the parts of you. There's no magic guru dust, no matter what someone tells you. Charles, no magic guru dust, baby. That stuff is false. The real truth, God already has given you what's required for you to do yours. And you apply the stuff you buy, the stuff you use, you apply that to it. But don't expect the things by themselves to do it. That's all we have. So I don't know if you guys have anything else. I just wanted to make sure we gave them this.
No, it's been real, man. It's good stuff. I'm glad we can get out the truth out there. And people can't be expecting, these hitting the lottery just because they're in business. That's just not how it works, no matter how much ad copy you read.
Yeah, not at all. So bottom line is, guys, you can do this. Have a great year. May God's love and blessings be all over your families, whether you believe or not. The important thing is we wish the best for everybody here in your families. Stay tuned for some emails this week with some specific step-by-step trainings that are going to help you to better leverage the tools that you have. We're doing some of the best practices that we use. We're sending out an email of us showing you how we set up for our opt-in pages or a webinar, or send an email. Just some really cool email tips we're going to send you throughout the week. So stay tuned for those email messages. Open them so you can utilize those things. God bless you guys. Have a great night. How do you register for the interview? Oh, it's right there in the window, I think. Hang on. I don't know what that is, man. That's what I get. Hang on a second. Offers. Look in the offers tab. Okay? I think it's in the offers tab. If not, I'll put it in the window in just a moment. You guys have a great night. God bless you. Take care.